I can explain. But first, I know everybody hates pre-roll sub requests, but give me 10 seconds. I'm a very small channel, and the YouTube algorithm does me zero favors. I'm not asking for your pity, I'm just saying if you like what you see, please subscribe. This one is by far the longest setup of any of the exploits I've covered, but as you saw in the intro, has the best results. The first thing you're going to need to do is clear out all the enemies and allies across the bridge. And I'll be clearing the bridge with the tank today. However, if you want to do this co-op, it is a lot easier to perform this exploit. You can grab the warthog behind you, and I'll explain why it's easier later on. However though, I don't have friends, so I'm going to hop in the tank and clear out all of the enemies and allies. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to fast forward through this. One thing you do need to catch is that there is a pair of allies on the left side in the center of the bridge. You'll need to take those guys out as well. Once you reach the tunnel area, if you're doing this exploit solo, you'll want to grab a ghost here. If you are doing a co-op, you and your partner can use the warthog from the beginning of the stage. But once you do one of those two options, you need to clear out all the other ground forces in this area. You'll want to leave the banshees alone. If you're playing on higher difficulties, you can clear a couple of the banshees to reduce damage. However, you do need at least one of them for this exploit to work. From here, we're going to jump back into our ghost, and you need to get one of the banshees to follow you all the way through the tunnel. This is where having the warthog with a co-op partner is a lot easier to do, as you can have one person drive the warthog while someone in the turret watches the banshee behind you. Doing this with the ghost is a little more difficult, as you can't watch the banshee and maintain the right distance from it. If you are too close, the banshee will turn around, and if you get too far, the banshee will despawn. In the event it turns around, you can usually shoot it a few times to re-aggro it, but you will need to have it follow you all the way through the tunnel. The AI is not designed to fly inside, so this can be very tricky at times. You don't need to clear out the enemies in this section of the tunnel, however you do need to take out the warthog and the allies inside. One other issue I had a lot of times in this area is that if you don't have the banshee in view or very close to you, going around the bend, when the checkpoint triggers, it can end up despawning the banshee, so keep that in mind as well. And we'll have to make our way through the gate with our banshee, and from here it's a lot easier to avoid it turning around. As long as you're relatively close to your banshee, it's either going to get stuck somewhere or turn around and then turn back. So take this opportunity to clear out the enemies. If you get lucky like me, your banshee will get stuck in a place like this, giving you ample opportunity to run around and clear out the enemies without having to worry about it getting lost. There are plenty of beam rifles in this area, so feel free to pick one up if you're the exploring type, but this next step is definitely the hardest part of the process. As stated earlier, the AI is not designed to fly indoors, and as a result, manipulating the banshee to a specific point can be very difficult. You'll see me mess around with it quite a while. Let me jump to one of my more successful attempts. You will need to shoot off both wings of the banshee at some point. I would recommend doing this one of the many times that your banshee gets stuck in a corner. But this is where the fun begins. We need to get it to fly through that door, which is easier said than done. This will likely take you several attempts, so don't be discouraged if you don't get it on the first couple tries. Once you get it inside, you will need to lead it further in and towards the small tunnel. Be careful not to enter the tunnel early, as we need to board the banshee during a very specific moment during the loading transition. The best setup for this is to get it stuck on this little sidewall here, so it slides slowly in, but what you're going to need to do is board the banshee during the loading transition. Once you do that, the Banshee is yours. The trick to this is, if you try to get into it too early, you die instantly. The game won't allow you to have a Banshee in this area. But if you wait too long after the loading transition, the Banshee despawns. Now, this is usually the part of the video where I say, let me show you some of the cool things I found, but I know what you're all here for, so let me show you that Scarab again. If you fly up to the bridge over here, you'll see an ordinary plasma rifle hovering over top of a caution sign. But once you pick this up, it's not a plasma rifle. Do be careful not to shoot too close to you on the ground, as this has a very wide explosion radius, but we'll make our way back over to the Banshee. The Banshee does also let you explore the entire area around the Metropolis town, so if you like out of bounds glitches, this is a great opportunity to explore the area. All of this area is textured, so feel free to explore it as you like. But now, let me show you where that soccer ball is. If you make your way through the stage to this area, you'll find that you can actually interact with and fly through the destroyed buildings. If you make your way up to the second level and fly into this crevice, you'll see our soccer ball there nudged in the corner. With enough finagling, you can get it back down to the streets below. From there, feel free to play soccer to your heart's content. It's a lot of fun to combine the Scarab gun and the soccer ball together, as you can launch the soccer ball very far with it. But there's some other really cool stuff I haven't talked about yet in this stage, so let's move on to the very next area. Go ahead and clear out this area until the pelicans start to fly in, and you're actually able to board and ride the second pelican. I'm not really sure why this is, and I believe this is the only one you can do this in the game. You won't see a prompt to board, however, if you go towards the back section and jump and hold the board button, you are able to get into the seat of the pelican. From there, the pelican will take off and you can fly off into the distance with your fellow soldiers. At a certain point, the pelican begins to crash and you will eventually be flung out of it. After a certain amount of time, you'll end up here in the void with your other soldiers. If you approach the teetering pelican, you'll actually see the game is treating it like a banshee, which may be why you're able to get inside of it. It also allows you to flip it. And while unfortunately you can't get back in it, flipping the Banshee can be a lot of fun in of itself. Getting back to our actual Banshee, you can use it to interact with or get onto the Scarab itself. The enemies don't spawn here until the very end area where they're supposed to spawn, so feel free to ride it around the city. Lastly, I didn't really have anywhere else to put this, but this was a fun little area I used to play around with as a kid. jump up on the side and make your way all the way across this suspension cable. It's a very long walk, and my game thought I forgot how to turn. Once you're over here, jump over to the support beam for the bridge, and now you have access to your very own Halo 2 slide. But that's all I have to show you in this level. So let me know if you guys find anything fun or fun ways to use a Scarab gun or soccer ball. I've also got videos showing out of balance glitches in Cairo Station, Outskirts, and Delta Halo, so check those out in the description. But yeah, if you liked this video, please give it a like. If you didn't, let me know why in the comments, and if you want to see more, please give me a subscription. But most importantly, I hope you have a great day.